Welcome one, welcome all. It's time for another exciting edition of The Show with No Name on Vaughn Radio. And guys, we've got an amazing program in store por venir. Let's rock and roll because it's time for liftoff.
10,
Come on.
9, 8, 7.
Let's
6,
blast off
5,
together.
4, 3, 2,
Come on.
1, 0. Ignition.
Yes.
Liftoff. Liftoff.
Yeah. Come on. And we're off.
Get ready. Hold on to your hats.
Vamos que nos vamos.
Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your
And
hats.
get ready for the ride of your life.
The show with no. It's show with no name.
Welcome.
On Vaughn Radio. It's a show with no name.
Yeah, baby.
Let's go. Let's go.
Welcome, Show with No Namers from all around the world, wherever you're tuning in from. I'd like to start the show out by saying thank you. Thank you. Thank you for choosing to learn English with us every day here, not just on the Show with No Name, but with all my amigos, Rob Grams, Fitz. Don't forget about Dave Boys and the ladies. We've got the ladies in the house as well. We're talking about Ruby, Jules Linares, Jessica Fernandez, and Yvonne. And what an amazing crew. And we're getting together again soon. I love that. We always have get-togethers. Quedadas, you say? So we're getting together soon. Nos estamos juntando pronto. I think at the end of this month. Right? A mediados, how do we say? Mid-month. Y a principios de? At the beginning of the month. So at the beginning, at the end of the month, or mid-month. También decimos early June. Por ejemplo, si decimos el mes. Late May. Okay? Early June, principios de junio. Late June, finales. Mid-June, mira, la que no cambia es mid. Mediados. Did you know that? Hey, good to know. I love learning all those little details. And I know you guys love learning too because, well, why not? Why not? It's a great addiction to have, to wake up every morning hungry, thirsty. You want to learn, whether it's languages, whether it's about the world around you, whether it's about nature, whatever it may be, your curiosity is key. And I say your curiosity, meaning all of us, including myself in that, and my daughter and everybody in my circle. So keep it curious here on the Show with No Name. We're going to keep you guessing because, as you know, there are a lot of challenges here on the show. So why don't we kick off with our first challenge? It's a listening exercise, well, and a lot of other exercises combined into one. We call it the Say What Soundbite. Yes.
Say what?
Get excited, get pumped, get stoked. Yes. Say what? Say what? What? All right, folks, tonight is the night. It's the first Vaughn Radio Trivia Night of 2026. Going to be hosted by your buddy Fitz. I'm sure he is ready to go. Knowing Fitz, he has been prepared probably for a week or two, if not longer. So I'm sure he's going to have some really good questions to keep us thinking, keep us, as I just said, learning new things, keep us curious. And why not? As we said too, having fun. So we're learning, we're hanging out with friends, and even, grabbing a bite to eat, picoteando algo. Sounds like a well-balanced evening, doesn't it? And as you know, well, sometimes people ask, maybe you don't know, it's free. You don't have to pay to get in. There's no admission fee. Okay? Come in. Hey, I'm here for the Vaughn Radio Trivia Night. Introduce yourself to me, to Kyle, to Rob, to whoever. Richard Vaughn himself. And we'll welcome you. And if you don't know how it works, don't worry, we'll let you know. If you know how it works, well, then you know it's a really special, I would dare say, magical evening. So join us. It's at 8 p.m. at the Toast Tap Room in Malasaña. And stay tuned, because I guess we'll be announcing the next one for March, right? This is February. We'll see who's on deck, if I'm not mistaken. Now, don't quote me, no me cites, but I believe Chris is going to be hosting March, but I'm not sure. Stay tuned. Also, the Say What soundbite. I've got to say, shout out to, let me see if I can remember, because I've got it in my file over there. Alberto. Who else? Born to Iron Man. And who else participated? There was somebody else who participated. All right. Well, guys, I'll tell you something. You still have time if you'd like to participate in our weekly speaking section. And really, really, if you've never done it, do it. What's stopping you from expressing yourself in English? Don't be ashamed. Don't be embarrassed. No one here is going to judge you. Well, I'll judge you, but not in a critical way, more to be able to help you with your spoken English, something that, you never thought. And, if you thought about a radio show 20 years ago, you would never think, wow, I can learn English from a radio show. I can be entertained from a radio show, and I can even participate. I can hear my voice, and I can receive feedback. Wow. Oh, wow. Okay. That's, and I'll tell you something, I wouldn't have believed it. And I grew up on the radio, but now because radio has evolved and turned into, in many ways, podcasts, there's been kind of a transition, because many radio shows, in fact, most radio shows, if they're smart, are later podcasts, because not everybody listens to the radio like they did before either, right? But there's a surge in podcasts. And surge, vamos a ver, nuestro primer vocabulario que yo no sé en español. So let's look it up over here. Hola, aluvión. I have heard the word aumento. Surge, se escribe con G. A surge. There's a surge in podcasts. And well, as you guys know, you can listen to this on the internet radio. You can listen to this program also on podcast platforms, as I just said, and on the Vaughn Radio app. So you've got a couple options on how you can consume your Vaughn content, whatever's easier for you. The idea is you want it to be just one click away, where you're like, okay, let's learn some English. Click. You don't want to have to do too many things. So follow us on our app. Follow us on social media too. I know many of you are on social media, and this way you'll probably find out when I do about special deals, about upcoming events and things like that. Also, there's a newsletter. If you'd like to subscribe, you can subscribe to the Vaughn newsletter, and you'll get all the information. In fact, a lot of times things that I share with you are things that I got because I subscribed to the Vaughn newsletter. Yeah, well, I like to know what's going on too. Why not? I mean, I am here on the front lines, right? In the trenches, in las trincheras. So I need to know what's going on. I need to know the word on the street. como se dice en inglés. So, folks, participate. Remember, all you have to do to participate in the question of the week is to record around a minute audio that you can record on your phone, the same way you send your best friend a WhatsApp voice note or, Apple Messenger voice note. Well, that's exactly what you do. But in this case, you attach it, you send enviar por correo, and you send it to this email address. It's aalonso@grupovon.com. Okay, aalonso@grupovon.com. Born to Iron Man has already participated. Alberto as well. And I'm missing someone, a lady. I can't remember who, but it doesn't matter because I have the audio files. And remember, we've changed the day temporarily. We're going to be doing that section on Thursday. So just a little side note there. On Thursdays, we'll be doing question of the week. So please, I'll give you more time as well. I'll give you the next one as soon as, if not before, we reach this one. Okay. Once many of you, I don't want to confuse you too, because if I give you two at the same time, maybe you'll send them out of order. So I don't want to, say it too much in advance either. So let's focus on this one, which this week's question of the week. I mean, I don't like to say that it's a wonderful question because I chose it. I'm not trying to give myself any credit, ningún mérito, but I do think it's a question worth asking, and I'd love to hear your answers. And it's, do you believe in second chances? And more importantly, explain your answer. Okay. Yeah, I believe in second chances because, well, everybody everything's a learning experience. That's up to you, that part, right? Also, remember to introduce yourself. It's a good thing to practice. Hey, it's Marisol. Hey, it's Elena. Hey, it's Born to Iron Man. However you're going to introduce yourself, because the more you know how to do it, the more comfortable, the more routine it will be, and you won't have to think about it. Nice to meet you. Oh, great. See you again soon. You've got all those niceties, as we call them. You've got them down. Las tienes controladas. Los buenos días. Hasta luego. Muchísimas gracias. Muy amable. No, these things that we say when we interact with people anywhere, be it an airport, a restaurant, in the taxi cab, or wherever. So we need English to survive. Also Spanish. Guys, I always tell my students that too. And sometimes I don't know if you take it for granted. Tell me in the comments if you'd like. Si lo infravaloras o lo das por sentado. You guys are really lucky. Why? Well, your first language isn't Swahili. No offense to people from Swahili, but it's not a very useful language globally, is it? What are the importance of knowing Swahili? Okay, maybe if you got family, maybe more of a pride thing, del orgullo, but really, right? Okay, you tell me you speak French, I'll say, okay, wow, that's a very valuable language. If you have to value their use in the modern world that we live in, right? Because it's changed. Remember, back in the day, it was Latin, and then many languages later came from Latin. And there are other languages too, Celtic, that are still spoken. But the most powerful ones in the world, I'm going to say, okay, and we're talking by numbers here, Chinese, obviously. Now, you could argue, though, that English and Spanish combined are more important, or more global, I should say. I don't want to say important, more global. They have more of a reach, un alcance, than Chinese. Why? Well, Chinese people do business in China, but also, the thing is, Spanish and English is kind of extended all over. Who does business in Chinese in Europe or in South America, right? They do it or in English or in Spanish in the European Union. So anything really Western, Spanish or English, and again, French is in third place. It's still a language that's spoken by many, many people in the world. But I really believe that we are lucky. I was born learning English and Spanish at the same time, and I'd never realized it until I started traveling that, wow, this is like a superpower. It lets you kind of, it opens up your world a little bit, knowing not just, again, two languages, but two extremely valuable languages. So you're in luck because you already speak Spanish, and you're also in luck because most of you are very comfortable speaking English, and that's because you listen to Vaughn Radio and you do all the different challenges that we have for you on all the different programs. All right. Now, the challenge we're looking at today is the Say What soundbite. Now, this one, I think, let's give it on a scale of 1 to 10. I think this one's going to be like a 6, 7, 6 or 7. Okay, I'd say on the higher end of the scale. Well, we'll see. Let's see. I'll play it for you, and we can discuss it. Here's the Say What soundbite for the first time.
Okay, so Life's Too Short was an idea that I originally pitched to Ricky and Stephen, who loved it, and then it became the series that it became. But it is quite tightly scripted, you know. It feels very loose and very improv.
Alberto, estoy leyendo un cómic y me estoy dando cuenta de que todas las onomatopeyas que salen son verbos en inglés.
Of course, man. We love making it easy.
Por ejemplo, aquí pone chomp y está un animal masticando.
Sure, to chomp.
Es mascar, ¿no?
Sí, mascar. Y lo haces con tus piños. Your chompers.
Ah, chompers es los piños grandotes, ¿no? Vale, y to click, por ejemplo.
To click. Well, to click is what you do on a computer. You click. Pinchar.
Perfecto, pinchas con el ratón. Claro, tiene sentido. To gulp.
Well, before I was gulping my soda. Gulp, 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 gulp.
Claro, estás tragando como un pato.
Eso es, no es lo mismo que sip.
Bien. To thump.
Thump. Don't thump your fist on the table. No des un pum, pum en la mesa.
De hecho, el conejito de Bambi se llamaba Thumper.
Eso es, todo tiene sentido en inglés.
Claro que sí, por eso hemos hecho el tercer libro de This Book is the Milk, que se llama This Book is the Shit. Este libro es la leche. Por Alberto Alonso
y Damián Moya.
Así da gusto aprender. Y lo sabes.
And you know it. That's right. It's This Book is the Shit. You've got This Book is the Milk. This Book is the Milk too. And many other amazing materials. They're all at our online bookshop. Or if you want to stop in at one of our centers, as you know, we're located all over Spain. You can find us in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, and Zaragoza. So feel free to stop by. Otra forma de decirlo, to pop in. You know this one? Pop in. All right. Well, to pop in is pasarte. Now, does that ring a bell? Mary Poppins, she pops into their lives. No, aparece también es una forma de decir aparecer. To pop in. Pop in, hacer una visita cortita. Me paso, right? Es ese pasarse. Me paso esta tarde. I'll pop in this afternoon, right? Pop. So again, something I didn't realize until I was 48 years old, and I've always had a crush on Mary Poppins, but I never realized that her name was descriptive of what she does. It's brilliant. It really is. And that's why these books, This Book is the Milk, This Book is the Shit, that's kind of what they do. These books kind of teach you to look at your favorite cartoons, to look at your favorite products that you consume and foods and things like that, even toys, series, music, and really scour to find the English in there. To scour is to comb, no? Peinarlo, en busca de el inglés. And as I always tell you guys, not just vocabulary. I mean, from music, you can learn, for example, you can learn a lot of structures, right? Okay, vocabulary just by the title in some cases. Look at yesterday, Shakira, I won't give up, no, I won't give in. 2 phrasal verbs right there in the chorus, en el estribillo de la canción. So this is what, aside from teaching you tons of these vocabulary words, expressions, and structures from pop culture, the books go a step further, I believe, and they help you figure out how to look at the world through English eyes, or as Damian and I say, through milky eyes. All right, folks, we've got to move on right now. It's time for today's Pop Quiz. Pop Quiz. Pop Quiz. Pop Quiz. Pop Quiz, quiz, quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. All right, folks, here we go. Here's a little audio clip from This Book is the Milk. Oh, speak of the devil. Hablando del rey de Roma. Hey, Damian, I like your gear, man.
¿Cómo? ¿Que te gusta mi marcha de conducir, de la palanca de cambios? ¿De qué me estás hablando?
No, not your gears. Your gear, your clothes, your style.
Oh, yeah, the way
You dress.
I dress. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, in English,
you.
it's a very native way of saying, oh man, your gear, tu ropa, tu
Ah.
forma de vestir,
Por eso el videojuego Metal Gear.
metal gear. And also,
Yeah.
también es tu equipo. If you go snowboarding, don't forget all your gear.
Ah, o sea, ¿el equipo o el ropaje que lleves?
So it makes sense. Me encanta.
Yeah.
I love when things make sense. Now, do you consider yourself a guy who follows fashion?
Yeah, not too much.
No?
Not too much. No, I always dress the same way.
I hate when people say, eso es muy fashion.
Eso es
Oh,
muy
that's
fashion.
very fashion.
Yeah.
Ahora,
Ooh.
Eso en inglés no vale. Si lo dices en español, no te voy a corregir. Eso es muy fashion. Pero that's very fashion. ¿Qué falla ahí?
Yeah, it should be in English. You should say that's very fashionable or in fashion.
In fashion or in style, como la
In
revista.
style. Ah, nice.
¿Y
In
cómo es
style.
algo que se ha pasado de moda? De moda, excuse me.
Out of fashion?
Out of style or out of fashion?
Out of style or
Pero
out
acuérdate,
of fashion?
siempre vamos con el que tiene menos sílabas.
Yeah.
Fashion, 2. Uf, ya
Mm.
me cuesta mucho.
Y lo contrario de in es out.
Y de hecho, hay veces en el contexto, pues, oh man, that is so out. That's so in. Está de moda. So, again, in context, no hay que decir ni style.
And you also say this thing that's so 2019.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah.
say that thing.
Oh, man, that's so 1990s.
Yeah, it's so
You know, eso es-
1990s.
se quedó en los 90, ¿no?
Se
Te
está en 2018 lo que estás diciendo.
I always tell people, you know, I don't follow fashion. Fashion follows me.
Yes,
No,
sir.
I'm joking. I have zero fashion sense. In fact, my wife, a lot of times, she says, okay, back to the drawing board, que la expresión que significa, volvemos a cero. Or like you're wearing a shirt that has a hole in it, and I should look in the mirror more often.
But I wouldn't say so. I think you dress very not in fashion, but in your own fashion.
Well,
That
you know,
maybe you got stuck in the 90s. That's probably just like me. But you have your way of dressing.
well, man, I always used to buy my kicks at Foot Locker.
Foot Locker, nice word.
And kicks, una
Yeah.
forma de decir zapatillas.
Oh
de
yeah,
deporte.
let's talk about zapatillas because you have sneakers, right?
Sneakers, because you can sneak around.
Yeah, sneak.
You can hacerlo a escondidas.
Yeah, they don't sound
Right.
when.
And the British ones are called trainers because you train in them.
Yeah, nice.
And then we call them kicks also as a slang way.
because you can kick with them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My new
makes
kicks.
sense.
My new kicks. I got
But-
them at Foot Locker. Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't actually have foot lockers at home, right? Where you put where you lock your sneakers in.
Well, no, I think this came more from locker rooms,
Yeah.
vestuarios.
Vestuarios,
You know,
ya que tienen
where-
taquillas, lockers. Okay.
But then they would have a Foot Locker. So you wouldn't have to put your shoes, your stinky, smelly shoes, with your jersey, que es un false friend. A
Okay.
jersey no es un jersey, Damian. What is a jersey?
A jersey que es
Uniforme.
uniforme.
Like, so my Real Madrid jersey, no es un engaña
yeah.
esa
Exacto, es la
palabra.
camiseta deportiva, eso es. yeah.
uniforme de deporte, sí.
Ya, ya,
debería
ya.
explicarlo más.
Ya.
So, my
Qué bueno.
jersey. Y
Ya.
la expresión, he hung up his jersey, ¿qué significaría con ese contexto?
He hung up.
His
Colgó la
jersey.
camiseta.
Yeah, se
Ya.
retiró.
Claro.
Al final, when they honor an NBA player, they hang up their
Because
jersey.
in the end, when you say uniforme, you're not referring to the trousers, for example, right?
Yeah, or a police uniform. Obviously, there are other
Yeah.
uses, but a sporting uniform, that would be. Now, in England, they call it a kit, like a football kit,
Kit, el kit deportivo, yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
we would say it's your jersey, your shorts,
Yeah. Okay.
Gear works, your football gear,
Your
para
football
volver
gear. Yeah.
al
and,
gear.
by the way, talking about gears, Top Gear. Do you remember that show?
I love Top Gear, sure.
Yeah. Why is it called that way? Because marchas de coche is gears. So you have to change gears.
Absolutely. Something I was thinking about too is a little onomatopoeia. We got a lot of onomatopoeia when it comes to things that we've got in our closet, in el
Yeah.
armario. What about those flip-flops?
Yeah. It's the way it sounds, right?
flop, flip-flop.
Flip. It's a brilliant word. I love it.
Absolutely. Flip-flop.
Much better than chancleta. Chancla is funny, but flip-flop is perfect.
And I like slippers too. Slippers son las de casa. And I think there are two reasons for it. Because, well, you could slip. Como son un poco más resbaladizas, you could slip, right? But also, when you get home from work, you want to slip them on. Es otra forma de decir ponértelas.
Como que las deslizas,
Yeah,
deslizas el pie hacia adentro, ¿no?
Lo usamos cuando decimos ponernos algo cómodo. I'm going to slip on some sweats.
Yeah.
All right. It's another way of saying to put on, ponerse algo.
Yeah. Well, I'm falling asleep after this chat.
Well, dude, suit up. We are going to the runway. Y no digo al aeropuerto. I'm saying la pasarela. All right, folks, we'll be right back. So stick around. Welcome back, amigos. Welcome back. This is part 2 of today's show with No Name. And thank you once again for joining us, for learning and laughing with me on this kooky program. Remember, we looked at that word yesterday. Kooky. Not cookie. I didn't say cookie. Cookie is galleta. I said kooky. The creepy and the kooky. Remember? Chiflado. And as I said, the cook likes to cook cookies. He's a bit kooky. Siempre jugando con las palabras, los sonidos. I hope you guys are doing it. Do it with me. The cook likes to cook cookies. He's a little bit kooky, if you ask me. All right, folks, here's what I want from you in your pop quiz. The first one, we were talking about fashion, vestirse. Okay, I want you to tell me vestirse formal. Give it to me in context. ¿Me puedes contar la última vez que te vestiste formal? Hey, whatever. Up to you. Or maybe you've got one coming up. I've got a big party coming up. I have to vestirme formal. There are many ways to say it. I'll take them all, as long as it's proper English. The next one, we're talking about sneakers, slippers, footwear. Se llama footwear, calzado. I want you to use 2 words. It's really a double trouble. Planta del pie en suela del zapato. That's number 2. You can use them really simply, okay? La planta, la suela. Mira, te doy un ejemplo. La suela del zapato es más grande que la planta del pie, por ejemplo. All right? It's a double trouble, so it shouldn't be too difficult. And the last one, I was thinking, what is an item, una prenda, que a lo mejor no saben? So I decided to ask you one that I love in Spanish. And you call it a mono. Oh, qué mono. You got a lot of, you guys have monos like a triple trouble. Mono, monkey. Mono, cute. And mono, un mono de prenda, lo que llevas de ropa. Right? So, qué mono ese mono en un mono. What do you think? I can't do triple troubles in Spanish? Ay. That's the way my kooky brain works there. So, all right, number 1, una forma de expresar, vestirse formal. Otra vez, dánoslo en un ejemplo que te valga a ti, donde lo usarías. Number 2, planta del pie, suela del zapato. Include them both in there. And the third one, mono. And I don't mean monkey, and I don't mean cute. I mean the thing that you wear, maybe if you're going to be painting, something that you wear over your clothes normally, right? Your clothes are under it, so you can put it on, You can slip it on, que vimos la palabra to slip on, not sleep, slip, to slip on over your clothes. Like, if you whatever, you don't want to get your clothes dirty, or if you work, you're a painter, you work in construction, you're a builder, a bricklayer, anything like that, well, you'll need it. All right. Okay, those are your vocabulary words that we're going to look at in today's pop quiz. What else? Sure. We've got to listen to our Say What soundbite. We're going to listen to it now for the second time. So everybody listen carefully and we'll see what we come up with here. I think the hardest word here is improv at the end. Because I don't know if he says improv or improved, because you can say it can be both. It can be very improv, muy en plan improvisación, or very improved, que es corto para improvisado. So I'll take either one. Te lo digo ahí para esa última parte. If you're going to participate and jot it all down, I'll take improv or improved. And hey, let me know what you hear. Here it is for the second time.
Okay, so Life's Too Short was an idea that I originally pitched to Ricky and Stephen, who loved it, and then it became the series that it became. But it is quite tightly scripted, it feels very loose and very improv.
Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah, wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así de gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damian, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
Vaughantienda.com.
It's the shit. That's right, folks. This book is the shit. You can pick it up at Vaughan Tienda and wherever fine books are sold. All right, let's see what we've got today over here. We've got a lot of students participating, so right off the bat, great job, folks. Also, hey, I urge you to practice your speaking as well every Thursday in the question of the week as well. All right. Now, I've given you guys the Say What soundbite twice. I've got to check your pop quiz answers right now, and we'll do a little attendance. To take attendance is when you do, otra forma de decirlo, roll call. Okay, Alonso, here, presente, present. You can say here or present. So let's do roll call. Let's take attendance with our show with no namers who, as I said, they look like they are rocking and participating. There's Born to Iron Man, a true champion, and he's already participated in our question of the week. Great job, buddy. Wonderful job. You sound great. You sound confident. But as I said, we'll find out more on Thursday when everybody gets to hear you. There's Vero Vivacious, lively Vero. Con mucha vida, no? Lively. Pero she says, morning, beautiful show with no namers around the universe and beyond. What's up, Vero? Great to have you on board, rocking and rolling and learning English with us here in our awesome class. There's Chris, one of the students who makes this class awesome. She makes sure every day that she is leading the way along with her other classmates. And she says, morning, awesome show with no namers. What's up, Chris? We'll be missing you at the trivia night tonight. I know you've gone to the last two, maybe? Am I right here? I think possibly. I don't know, but awesome. Well, either way, we've got another trivia night tonight, and then the first Tuesday of March. Now, don't quote me yet, but if all goes according to plan, the first Tuesday of March, Chris will be hosting the trivia night. Chris from Frankly Speaking on Von Radio. All right, Chris, so what's up, Chris? Great to have you with us. She's got something to say regarding the Say What soundbite. Let's see what she had to say. She said, I heard a British man who may be an actor or director. Correcto. That's right. He's talking about a series of films and its evolution. It's not a series of films, but it's a series. So, quita la palabra films. Y lo tienes. Yeah, but that doesn't matter. That's not even important. The important part is you got it. You heard it right. He is British. He is an actor. I'm not sure about the director part, but yeah, he's in show business. Se dedica a la farándula, as you would say. And yeah, he's talking about a series and its evolution. Su evolución. Excellent job, Chris. You summed it up beautifully. Glow says mono. Overall? Bueno, es con ese. Overalls. Yeah, that's right. Why? Because you put it over all your other clothing. Pero lo solemos usar con ese. Glow tube. But yes, overalls. Let's see if anybody used it in a full sentence. Chris Valrol, there she is, participating in our pop quiz, leading the way. She says, I'm going to dress to the nines to attend my friend's wedding. Excellent. To dress to the nines. To dress to the nines means to dress up formally, to look good. That's a totally native, in fact. I'm going to dress to the nines to attend. Y muy bien, no caíste en el false friend. Hay mucha gente que dice, to assist, no. To attend to, no. Es to attend a secas. Excellent. Asistir. Porque en español, claro, es asistir a. Entonces, muchos alumnos primero quieren decir assist, que es ayudar, que es un amigo falso por eso, pero luego también hay otro error alrededor de esto, que es eso, meter el to cuando no, en inglés no empleamos un to, but Chris already knew that. All right, awesome job. And then she said, and another thing, the word wedding. Do you know how many times I've seen people write wedding? I call it Johnny Depp syndrome. Johnny Depp es como lo decidiríamos de verdad. Yeah, it's where you're doubling up on the wrong letter. So Johnny Depp es dos P's, no dos E's. Si lo lees así, dirías Johnny Depp, ¿no? Pero como, claro, la prensa se ha empeñado en que es EEP en vez de EPP. Well, that's why everybody in Spain calls him Johnny Deep. It's a cool name, I gotta say. What's your name? Johnny Deep. Whoa, he's pretty deep, this guy. Oh, man. All right. So, yes. The problem is people say weeding. And weeding is quitando la mala hierba del jardín, right? Because weeds are things that grow in the garden that you don't want there, that kill other plants, right? So you weed them. Como inglés es así de sencillo. El sustantivo es weed, pues también el verbo, quitarlas. We also use this word weed, well, además de marihuana, weed we also use to weed out. To weed out es descartar opción. Piénsalo, vamos a ir quitando los que no. We weeded out a lot of the candidates, and now we have 3 left. Nos quedan 3 candidatos, right? To weed out. So, again, if you learn a word, learn it deep. Johnny Deep. Learn it deep. Learn because you could just say, okay, great, I know the word weed now. Excellent. But if you think about it, the idea behind it, and then you'll think, okay, ¿y cómo se dice alga? Pues alga es seaweed. ¿Sí? Y ya con esa palabra has aprendido unos conceptos alrededor de un tema. All right, in this case, weed. But wedding is 2 Ds, no 2 Es. Wedding. All right, the next one. The sole of the shoe is larger than the sole of the foot. Yes. Sole. And do you want to know something? That word can be a quadruple trouble. What if I were to tell you it's planta, suela, único? The sole reason he does that is because he enjoys it, right? The sole, la única. And also, lenguado. So, I guess the planta y suela one makes sense, ¿no? Es la misma parte, la parte de abajo del pie barra zapato, right? Now, it's a homophone as well because it sounds like the word, what? Alma. That's right, S-O-U-L, soul. So, all right, excellent job, Chris, Val, Rol, and now we got a quadruple trouble. And it looks like Chris is the sole person, para usarlo en contexto, the sole person who is participating in the pop quiz. Okay, I didn't think it was that tough. All right, and the last one, she says, it's adorable. Love it. Oh, okay, you're saying mono. All right, I'll give it to you. I meant mono la prenda. So yes, you can say adorable. You can say cute. Oh, how cute. Oh, how adorable. Que mono, right? But if we're talking about the clothing, we're talking about overalls. Again, it makes sense because they go over all the rest of your clothing. Overalls. Let's see. Mono. Ah, no me jodas. In América Latina, it's overall. O-V-E-R-O-L. O sea, tal como lo diríais, como lo deletrearíais, pues ahí lo tienes. Overall. It also says mameluco. Mameluco. I've never heard that one. Overalls. Now, overalls also, it means something else as well. Overall, en general. Bueno, también, pero eso es sin ese. Overall, we were very happy with the service, even though the overalls don't fit. Aunque no es la talla correcta, well, overall en general. Also, overalls are peto o pantalón con peto. Same kind of idea, but this one doesn't cover the top, right? You know the ones I'm talking about? The ones that you see like farmers, back when you see these American farmers, they're made of jean, right? Of denim, de vaquero. And you say peto, pantalón con peto. So both of those can be overalls. And there's another word for mono as well. And this one we use when we talk about, for example, a pilot's uniform. Okay, you know that a pilot wears it, and it's all self-contained. That's called a jumpsuit. Okay, a jumpsuit. A mono overall mameluco. Okay. Also, a woman's all-in-one garment is a jumpsuit as well. So, hey, very interesting. I didn't know that. See how much I know about fashion, folks? Yeah. Let's see. Chris says, sorry, I misheard mono. Well, don't worry. We looked at the 3 different meanings, mono being monkey, mono being cute, mono being overalls or jumpsuit. And Chris says, I had a very colorful jumpsuit. All right. See, look at that. Chris said, wait, I got it. Nice, Chris. A jumpsuit. I don't think I've ever worn one of those. A jumpsuit or overalls. I have worn onesies. You know what onesies are? Onesies are like those pajamas with feet, those PJs, those pajamas. Remember, we don't say pajama in English. It's a common mistake. People say, I'm going to put on my pajama. Nope. I'm going to put on my PJs or my pajamas. Pero da igual como lo digas, siempre con ese al final. Okay? The same way we don't say muebles, furnitures. We say furniture. There's a lot of furniture in the room. I think he doesn't need another piece of furniture si queremos hacer que sea contable. You know, we can always do that too. I heard some news, incontable. I heard a news report. Ya sí que se puede contar. And that you can do that with a lot of things. I had some rice for dinner. A grain of rice, right? Un grano de arroz. So a lot of things that are uncountable can be made countable. Okay, you need to know the right word to put into the equation. So I've got to say, Chris Val roll knocking it out of the park. So vestirse formal. She said to dress to the nines. Other ways to say it, to dress up. Simplemente. Yeah. Guys, we have to dress up for the occasion. It's grandma's birthday. Dress up. You know she likes it when we dress up. So you can say dress to the nines. You can say dress up. Or when we look smart. ¿Qué? Cuando parecemos listos? Yeah, well, smart is another way of saying well-dressed. Did you know that other meaning? I know you know smart como listo. But did you know that if somebody dresses smart, that means they look good, right? Elegant. That's another word we use too. You look elegant, right? So dress up. Now, dress up has another meaning. But again, I insist, I don't think you'll ever get confused. Why? Because they're quite different, so they'll be used in different context. Let's explain. Okay, I'll give you both of them in context, and then you tell me. Vamos a hacerlo así. Yo te voy a dar dress up en ambos usos que tiene, y tú me dices a mí uso uno, uso dos, okay? So we need to dress up if we're going to go to the wedding. We need to dress up if we're going to go to the wedding. That's number one. Number two is I'm going to dress up as Dracula for the party. I'm going to dress up as vestirme de. I'm going to dress up as, right? You pay attention to the structure there too, because it's a little bit different than the first one. I'm going to dress up as Dracula or as a vampire for the party tonight. All right. So there you go, my amigos. Just some of the vocabulary you can learn from This Book Is the Shit. You've also got English Everywhere, which is my first book, English Everywhere. My daughter asked me the other day, she said, Daddy, how many pages? Because it's incredible when I watch my daughter reading, picking up my books and reading them and looking at the pictures and things and learning English. it's one of the most the word magical things that I can ever imagine. And it's great because I see that it works. You know, she sees the image and she says, "Oh, is he saying burp?" And I said, "Yeah, he's saying burp." And so it's a testament that these books work. And it's not just me who says it; it's many students who have picked up any of my books, or really, you know what? I'll include all of Vaughn's books in that equation. But you know, the idea behind our materials is to teach you English, yes, of course, but it's also to get you excited about English, to make you realize, I've got this, I can do this, and if I put in a little effort, a little time, a little energy, I'll be speaking English with confidence in no time. And speaking of English, speaking English with confidence is the show that comes right after this show every day on the Vaughn Radio app. Folks, we have got to take a quick commercial break right now. Excellent job to Chris Valrol in our pop quiz and in the Say What soundbite. We'll see if we've got some other students ready to hop on board and participate along with her. I know there are other students in the group, but right now, either the questions are too hard, or maybe they're just kind of listening, watching. Well, either way, we're going to participate in a lot more up ahead in the second part of today's show with no name after this quick commercial break. So stick around. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. This is the show with no name, and are we? Oh my God. Yeah, I can't believe it. We're in the second half of today's show with no name. But don't forget about all the other amazing programs, such as The Pro Bow Show with Rob Grams, Fits and No Excuses, Speaking with Confidence with Ruby. Nope, with Ale. My bad. Speak English with Ruby. Ahí está. Also, Let's Get Random with Jules Linares. The Salad with Dave Boyce. Talk about kooky dudes. After that, you've got Kyle Miller bringing you tons of challenges for your commute home. And then Chris Frank will help you make an amazing cocktail. Truly delicious, while he explains all kinds of things. I gotta say, as a friend of Chris Frank's, I know him personally, we're friends, he is an interesting dude. Yeah. You can have all kinds of interesting conversations with Chris Frank, the host of our show, Frankly Speaking. And I think the host of our upcoming trivia night in March. Stay tuned. Follow Vaughn on social media. Also, you can subscribe to the newsletter and go to the website grupovaughn.com. Yep. All right, folks, we're going to kick things off with a challenge where we look at tricky words. It's called Homophones on the Show with No Name.
Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name.
All right, my amigos, let's take a look at today's homophone section. All right, the first word is a word I am sure you're familiar with, and it's the word nuevo. We've looked at that word. Come on, that's an easy one. El adjetivo nuevo. Okay? Now, be careful. I've heard a lot of people say, what is the new? No, ¿cuál es la noticia? Pero ahí no. Ooh, I just said the word. Were you paying attention? I hope so. Well, I know you know that word either way, so you should be familiar with it and the way it's pronounced. Now, the second word is a type of antelope. You say new? Is that how you say it? It starts with an ñ in Spanish. I've never seen the word written in Spanish, so this is a new word for me. Ñ, new? Is that how you say it? So it is a type of antelope. And how do you say antelope? That's an interesting. Antelope, antelope, is antilope. Oh, you call it the same thing. Not to be confused with a cantaloupe. Yeah, un melón. That's right, cantalupo. Oh, you say that as well? Okay, all right. Hey, I've never heard that before. I'm learning tons of new things in Spanish today. All right, the first word, nuevo. Again, a word I don't think any of you should have any trouble with. The second word is new, a kind of animal. All right, those are your homophones. What are the words A? And do they sound exactly the same? Is part B of the homophone section. All right, it's time for the Say What soundbite. I'm going to give it to you now for the third time. Good luck.
Okay, so Life's Too Short was an idea that I originally pitched to Ricky and Stephen, who loved it, and then it became the series that it became. But it is quite tightly scripted, you know. It feels very loose and very improv.
Common mistake. Work like, work as. My students often say, I work like a manager. If it's your position, the correct form is, I work as a manager. Work like describes behavior. For example, I work like a slave. Work as describes your role. For example, I work as an engineer, or she works as a consultant. These distinctions are crucial in interviews, and they're exactly the kind of details we train in the Executive Master at Grupo Vaughan.
That's right, folks. It is the Executive Master only at Vaughn. All right, folks. Well, let's take a look at what we've got here in our homophone section. Now, again, we're taking a look at some words that may or may not sound the same. We're going to take a look at A, if you know the words, and B, if they sound exactly the same or not. All right, let's take a look over here. Where were we? ¿Dónde estábamos? Oh, Born to Iron Man. He says, Sharp Dressed Man by ZZ Top is top. No doubt about it. And that's another way to say that somebody is elegant or well-dressed. Man, you look sharp. You are dressed to the nines. You really dressed up. Oh, and so let me give you the difference here. To dress up, vestirse formal. To dress up as disfrazarse is what you say. All right, in case you didn't know the difference between the two, there you go. I don't think anybody commented on that over there. Let's take a look. Chris Valrol says, I wish I could go to trivia night every month. Yeah, we wish you could come as well, but we understand the effort that it takes you and that you make to get here. And that's a lot of you guys. I know a lot of people, some people who have come from Valencia to come hang out with us at the trivia night, from Barcelona, like Chris and that area. So thank you guys. Really, it's don't think it's lost on us. Que lo captamos. We get it. All right, let's see. Born to Iron Man gives us the two words, and he spells them correctly, and he says they don't sound alike. All right, Chris Valrol gives us the two words correctly, and she says they are homophones. Ooh, this is interesting over here. All right, let's take a look. I'm going to say both words, and then you tell me if they sound alike or not, okay? So there is a new at the zoo. Hey, it sounds like a Dr. Seuss novel. There's a new at the zoo. Do they sound the same? Absolutely. Hell yeah. That's right. That G is silent. We don't say GNU or anything like that. We say new, right? So there is a new at the zoo. It's a good way to remember it. It's funny. In Spanish, it's new. Es parecido. But in English, it's new. Now, there's a third word that I know you knew. Ahí lo tienes. Conocer, right? So 3 words in English that sound like this. I once knew a new at the zoo. There we go, folks. Hey, if you can say that sentence, then you definitely understand the pronunciation of these words, and you feel comfortable enough to be able to play with them. Again, that's the key. That's why we're always playing with words and trying to make puns, and not because I want to be a comedian, believe me, but I want to show you, again, how you should approach language. Cómo deberías enfocarlo, right? Like it's like a journey. You're like, oh, okay, I see this word here. Okay, well, that word is the tip of the iceberg, because below there's a whole other range of meanings or uses behind that root word. And if you think like that, then you're constantly not just learning vocabulary in a robotic kind of way, but instead you're exploring the many meanings and uses of different words. And well, once you feel comfortable, then you can use those words, obviously. So always remember that too, anytime you can during the show, especially here in the homophone section. It's important to repeat the vocabulary, the expressions, anything, especially if I say repeat it at that moment in time, do it, because I'm saying it for a reason. I'm saying it because it's something that I think you should hear and repeat right after you hear it, not 10 minutes later when you can't remember the way it was pronounced exactly. So there's a new at the zoo. That's as far as I knew. Lo más que yo me entero, no me entero de mucho más. So a triple homophone. Excellent job, Chris, born to Iron Man. He gave us that third word as well. All right, well, it is time to move on because we've got a lot of stuff to do. So here is today's news report.
This is the news report on the show with no name, bringing you the latest breaking news. I'm Alberto Alonso, reporting live.
All right, amigos, welcome to your news report here on the show with no name. All right, now this is insane. I call this story Possible Side Effects. Possible side effects. You say efectos colaterales? Well, if we're talking about a war or something like that, then it's collateral damage. es así que la usamos. Y no es damage, sino damage. Damage. All right? So, yeah, well, I'll tell you what's going on here with these possible side effects, efectos secundarios. Well, some people are waking up from surgeries, from an operation, from going under the knife, otra forma graciosa de decirlo, and being fluent in another language that's not their own. Now, hey, then you don't need Vaughn Radio if you go under the knife. Now, would you go under the knife knowing that that would be a side effect? Okay, well, listen, I'm going to get my leg fixed. And at the same time, I'll be fluent in Spanish. Wow, sounds like a dream come true. I mean, nobody wants to go under the knife, but that's one of the possible side effects? Whoa. So yes, an American dad, this is one case of many where this has come up, woke up from surgery after anesthesia and all of that. He came around, that means volver a ser consciente, speaking fluent Spanish. Fluent. Now, as we said, it's pretty scary going into surgery, the whole process. You know, even if it's a routine operation and you're in and out, como decimos, outpatient, no te quedas la noche ahí. But you're sitting around, you're waiting for results. It's, you know, it can be harrowing, the mental part of it. Harrowing. A ver cómo se traduce harrowing. Desgarrador. Horroroso, right? It can be a harrowing experience, even if it's just a minor surgery. Post-op, then you might have to do, you know, follow up with treatment and take some pills for the pain and all of that stuff. But, well, the case of Stephen Case. You see what I did there? The case of Stephen Case. Well, this guy is a dad from Utah. And, well, he has gone under the knife a few times. And he says, ever since I was 19, I have woken up from surgeries speaking Spanish every time. Now, let me explain how different this is. Because normally, it's one person going under the knife once, and then when they come around, well, they're fluent in a language. But this guy has gone under the knife many times, so I guess he's accident prone, or maybe he has, you know, some kind of more serious issue. But 19 was the first time, and he says that he has woken up speaking Spanish every single time. And he says, the nurses say they ask me questions. Dicen que me hacen preguntas. Remember, we don't make questions, we ask questions. Like, how are you feeling? Or are you in pain? And after waking up, I answer the questions in Spanish. Like, and he's saying he didn't do it consciously. So this is weird. And he said that his level of Spanish is high school, low level high school. O sea, de instituto y bajo. And that was many, many years ago. But now the guy is fluent and he speaks at a native level. According to him, those are his words, fluent, native level. Now, he does say that he frequently heard the language around him in his surroundings. So maybe it does work. You really do absorb English. I always tell you, even if you can't participate in the show, if you've got Vaughn Radio on in the background, you're going to absorb something. But this is just a different level here. And he said that he spent a lot of time at his best friend's house as a kid. And the best friend's parents, his folks, were always speaking Spanish. But still, that to making him fluent after an operation? And he even admits, I never knew what anyone was saying, but I always heard it in the background. And they say that there's a syndrome, foreign language syndrome. It's an appropriate name, I would say. And it sees people switch to another language or accent. Sometimes it happens with an accent where people wake up and You know, a guy from Detroit is like, "Oh, good morning, lovely, lovely. How did the surgery go? I'm feeling quite chuffed." You know, it's like, wait, are you Johnny Bag of Donuts from Detroit? Why do you sound like you live in Buckingham Palace? So it's called foreign language syndrome. Again, people switch to another language or an accent for a period of time. It could be minutes or hours. Oh, so you're telling me it's not permanent. So then it's not worth it, guys. I wouldn't go under the knife if I were you. I mean, to be fluent for a couple minutes, for a couple hours, that's all right. But he says, in his case, it typically subsides, se disminuye, and it subsides within an hour, dentro de una hora. It lasts, otra forma de expresar esta idea, it usually lasts around an hour. And they say that this foreign language syndrome, as it's called, is brought on by a number of factors. Brought on or triggered. Son dos formas de decir provocado. Okay? Trigger como gatillo de una pistola. So it's brought on or triggered by a number of different factors, including brain injury, psychological stress, or, in the case we're looking at here of Mr. Case, after waking up from surgery. So, yes, folks. And he says, now I tell people that I tend to wake up speaking Spanish, so they're prepared. He's used to it now. Ya está bastante acostumbrado. And so I guess, yeah, well, in the United States, that's not too difficult. You know, just let the Spanish-speaking staff, let them know that I'll be asking questions in Spanish after the surgery, even though I'm speaking English now. But yes, I just looked it up. FLS, obviously, stands for Foreign Language Syndrome. It is a rare, usually temporary, neuropsychiatric condition where a person suddenly speaks a non-native language, often following brain injury, anesthesia, or severe stress. Wow, that's incredible. All right, well, it's a shame that it doesn't last forever. All right, my amigos, we've got more to do. Right now, it's time for those little tricks that can help you manage your way through this thing we call life. It's life hacks.
These are the life hacks you need to know.
That's right, folks. It is life hacks. And you know what? I don't know about you guys, but in English, we have an expression, and you guys can tell me in the comments, that if somebody's horny, cachondo, that's right. I'm horny, 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 horny tonight. We tell them, take a cold shower. Right? Tómate una ducha fría. Estás caliente, you know? Guess it makes sense. Take a cold shower. Now, what's the difference between take a shower and have a shower? Depends on what side of the Atlantic you're on. Yeah. Well, Americans say, I'm going to take a shower, or I'm going to jump in the shower. Que se dice bastante. I'm going to jump in the shower. I'm going to take a shower. But the British would say, I'm going to have a shower. And remember, showers also means rain. In fact, many times, if you watch the weather, if you've ever been to the United States, they don't say it's going to rain tomorrow. They say we're expecting showers. Okay, esperamos duchas. Well, it does make sense if you think about it. So I've got a life hack today, and I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, there is no way on earth you're going to get me into a freezing cold shower. Well, folks, I guess it's like foreign language syndrome. Is it worth going under the knife? Is it worth suffering if, well, taking a cold shower has so many health benefits? I'm sure you guys have heard it before. There were many athletes. I believe the podcaster Joe Rogan does like cold plunges. ¿Cómo se dice? Plunge is when te metes, right? To plunge. Plunge se escribe. And well, again, because they're saying that the benefits of cold water, a plunge, caída, zambullida, submergir, right? En agua fría, no, helada. That's what we're saying here. So they say that taking a cold shower, yes, it's not the easiest thing to do on the planet, is it? Especially in the middle of winter. But it clears your head, it wakes up your body, and it even helps you with stress. Now, I'm going to explain all of this stuff, but literally, if you've ever done it, you know what I'm talking about. You get out of the shower feeling like Thor. You know, the superhero. You say Thor, we say Thor. Don't you? Your heart is pumping. You feel like you've just survived an ice storm, una tormenta de hielo. But it's true. Cold showers have a lot of benefits to our system as humans. For example, and we just looked at a couple in general, but we'll get a little bit more specific here. Improved circulation. So if you have trouble with your blood circulating to your extremities, this can help you. Faster muscle recovery. If you go to the gym and you work out, it'll help you recover from those workouts or sore muscles faster. Enhanced alertness. Yeah, that means you're estás más al loro. And it's true. I know it because sometimes I do it. And when I do it, I instantly feel like, okay, I'm awake. Let's go. Right? It instantly. And what they say is it makes the rest of the day easier because you're shocking your body and your body's ready for anything now. It goes into a certain enhanced state of alertness, as we say. Also, it can give you shinier hair. ¿Cuántas veces has visto el brillo de tu pelo en el champú? El brillo de que shinier hair. There you go. Ladies, guys too, or unless you're like me and you don't have much of that. Clearer skin. That's right. So fewer skin problems. Potential mood boosting for depression and anxiety. Again, that's related to the alertness. It just shocks you out of whatever is going on at that first second. Then you get, your body is incredible. We know this. The human body really is a machine. Also, a stronger immune system, because what happens if your blood is circulating? Well, you improved your blood flow. Right. And basically, it also activates the body's survival response. That's the shock part, like the let's go. You're ready for anything. And they even say, but they say that more research is needed, that it can even help with weight loss. So pretty crazy. I know there are many cons to taking a freezing cold shower in the morning or in the afternoon. But there are so many pros. I just told you at least seven or eight different health benefits from taking a cold shower. So next time somebody tells you, hey, Alberto, take a cold shower, do it. Hey, it'll be good for your health. Folks, we've got to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with the rest of today's show. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back. This is the fourth and final part of today's show with no name. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. Today, yesterday, tomorrow. Thank you. And don't forget about all the other amazing programs you got here on Vaughn Radio. Right after today's show, you can continue to learn with Ale in Speaking with Confidence. And speaking of speaking with confidence, you'd better, más te vale, you'd better participate in our question of the week, folks. I want to hear all your voices. Do you believe in second chances? Do you believe in second chances? Send me a 1-minute voice note before the end of the day on Wednesday. Send it to alonso@grupovaughn.com. Again, it's alonso@grupovaughn.com. Yeah. All right, in this part of the show, we're going to take a look at our Double Trouble, sponsored by your classmate, Elena. Yeah. Elena's been sending us quite a few. Suena como pocos, pero no. Quite a few significa bastantes. Elena has been sending us quite a few Double Troubles. After that, our Say What soundbite. Plus, we've got to take a look at movies, music, and so much more here on the Show with No Name. All right, let's see what we've got in today's Double Trouble. Yeah.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
That's right, amigos. That's right. It is today's Double Trouble. And I can't believe it. Elena, I did not plan this. Students, I did not plan this. But we're going to look at the word suela del zapato here. Not in English, in Spanish, because it's an idiomatic expression. So I will tell you this. Elena is not going to make it easy for you in today's Double Trouble. She's going to make you sweat a little bit, but I think you guys should be able to handle it knowing you. Here we go. Espera, hijo. Tú sabes que no estás a su altura, o que no llegas ni a la suela del zapato. And thank you very much to Elena for teaching me an idiomatic expression. I've just written it down. Acabo de apuntarlo. So, no llegar ni a la. I've heard it before, but I've never used it, and I never just took a minute to think about it. So thank you. Elena's even teaching the teacher here while she challenges the students. So, espera, hijo. Tú sabes que no estás a su altura, o que no llegas ni a la suela del zapato. That's your Double Trouble. You've got to use the same word twice, as you know. All right, let's keep things moving along here because we've got tons of stuff to do here. Let's listen to your Say What soundbite. This is the fourth listen, and if I'm not mistaken, I don't think anybody's figured it out yet. All right, let's see what you guys have got.
Okay, so Life's Too Short was an idea that I originally pitched to Ricky and Stephen, who loved it, and then it became the series that it became. But it is quite tightly scripted, you know. It feels very loose and very improv.
Expression: an upward or a downward trend. This week, we were describing graphs in English. Professionals don't just say sales go up, they say there's an upward trend. For example, there's an upward trend in sales this quarter, or we're seeing a downward trend in profits. These expressions are essential for clear business communication. Understanding this helps professionals prepare better and feel more confident. Exactly what we work on in the Executive Master.
That's right, folks. More information about the executive master at Vaughn. You can go over to the website, grupovaughn.com. Also, if you're following us on social media, you can reach out, contactar. You can reach out over there, and hopefully somebody will get back to you. Se pondrán en contacto contigo de nuevo. All right, let's see what we've got over here. Chris Valrol, she says, a miracle. Oh, yeah, it is. A miracle. It reminded me of foreign accent syndrome. Well, I guess they're grouped in the same category. Foreign accent syndrome. And then the one we looked at today, which was foreign, what did they call it? We just looked at it too before. Foreign language syndrome and the foreign accent syndrome. Okay, yeah, well, there I can see how they would be related. Yeah, it's incredible. But again, I don't think it's worth going under the knife just to go under the knife. I mean, if you got to go under the knife and that's a side effect, great. Let it be. Let it be a side effect. That's awesome. Even if it's just an hour. That's it's pretty awesome just to live that experience. But then again, I don't know if he's really aware. Luego se da cuenta. I don't know. All right, let's see. Chris says, really mind-blowing. The human body is awesome. Yeah, that's a good word for it. Asombroso. The human body is awesome. How about you guys? Anybody listening or watching right now? Any of you take cold showers? I do. I have to be honest. When I go to the gym, I don't have an option. I don't have another choice. They're not, well, they do have warm showers in the locker rooms, but I decide, listen, let's go for it, So after a workout, after doing some cardio, there is nothing like a freezing cold shower. Now, again, the first second, it's like you see your whole life flash before your eyes. ¿No? Todo tu vida, un destello. And then all of a sudden you're like, I'm Thor. Soy Thor. Oh, wrong one. Oh, wrong one. That's the one. That's a dangerous mix. Lightning bolts, showers, sounds electric. All right, let's see. Okay. Let's see. We've got Chris Valrol. Now, I don't know if this sounds more like a shower in your house or sounds more like showers como lluvia, como hemos dicho. That's a weird one, that sound effect. All right, Chris is taking a stab at Elena's double trouble. Let's see. She says, hold on, son. Perfecto. Hold on is a way of saying espera. Hold on. It's very common. It's also an irregular verb. So every day I hold on. Tú. Yesterday I held on. And lately I've held on. So hold, held. Sería como se. Ahora, también no es solo sujetar, pero también es convocar, celebrar una reunión. We're going to hold a meeting tomorrow to discuss the budget. Okay. We held a meeting yesterday. So it's a very useful verb as it has a few different meanings. So hold on, son. Y fijaos como lo digo. Hold on. Pongo la D con el on. Hold on, son. You're not. Hold a candle up to him. Poor son, Elena. All right, Chris, I'm going to give you an applause, but we've got to work on the structure there. Okay? So the structure is to hold a candle to someone. Okay? So to hold a candle. Let me give it to you here. Okay? As a songwriter, George Harrison couldn't hold a candle to Paul McCartney. Okay? I disagree with that statement. I'll say that right now. George Harrison, some of the best Beatles songs are George Harrison. Okay? I'll read the statement, though, just so they're saying Paul McCartney's better. So el que va en la segunda parte se supone que es el que es el superior, right? So as a songwriter, George Harrison couldn't hold, muchas veces se usa con can't or couldn't, right? Can't hold a candle. Oh, man, that team can't hold a candle to us. No pueden, no llegan a nuestro nivel, no dan la talla, excuse me. So you don't, or you can't, mejor, Chris, I would say. Hold on, son. You can't hold a candle up to him. Okay. And up to no lo usaría. Let's see, to hold, a ver si quizá lo usan. Hold a candle up to. Te lo voy a buscar. Yo no lo usaría así, pero a ver. No, los que encuentro aquí ponen todos con el to. So quitamos el up, Chris, and we would say someone can't or couldn't, si es en pasado, hold a candle to someone else. So Elena put, hold on, son. You know you can't hold a candle. Y mira, Elena, Chris, you are on the same page because she put up as well. So Elena, if you're listening, I'm going to take out the word up because that's extra. So hold on, son. You know you can't hold a candle to him. And if you can't hold a candle to him, no llegas a la suela del zapato. Excellent idiomatic expression. Thank you for teaching it to me, Elena. And I hope you guys like the one that Elena has taught you. Well, too, hold on. And if you can't hold a candle to someone. All right, excellent job, Chris Valrol. We just made a couple little adjustments there, but now you know it. And knowing you, you're probably going to use it in the next shows because you're good like that. Chris is like, now I need to find an opportunity to use this correctly. And this way I know I've got it down. All right, it's time to move on, though. We've got a lot of stuff to cover before we wrap up today's show. So we're going to name that movie.
Name that movie.
Yes, and yes, amigos. It is time for Name That Movie. And this is a movie, honestly, I've got to say something. I remember when it came out. Me acuerdo de cuando salió y todo. I didn't remember the exact year, but I'm saying I remember in my childhood this being popular. But I've never seen the movie, which is weird. Let me know if you've seen it, if you know today's movie. It's a movie that came out in the year 1990. Again, one of those movies that I remember being around, but for some reason, I haven't seen it. And it seems like it's got an interesting plot, historia, trama. Well, let's see what you think about it. Here's a synopsis. When a hypochondriac learns that he's dying, he accepts an offer to throw himself in a volcano at a tropical island, and along the way there, learns to truly live. Does that sound familiar, amigos?
Common mistake. People is. Is a very common mistake I correct in class. Students say people is working too much. But people is plural, so we say people are working too much. Another example, people are unhappy with the situation. Small corrections like this instantly improve how professional someone sounds. Understanding this helps professionals prepare better and feel more confident, exactly what we work on in the Executive Master.
All right, folks, the Executive Master. More information, just go over to grupovon.com. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a winner, our movie queen, Chris Valrol. The flick is Joe versus the volcano. That's right, Joe versus the volcano. Now, I know it's a word you'll recognize in English, but I hope you don't say volcano. It's volcano. Right? Joe versus the volcano with Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks. And let's take a look at the scene. Patricia is addressing Joe, dirigiéndose a él. His first night aboard, su primer noche a bordo, the Tweedledee. Okay, that's the ship. And the Tweedledee, and you know where it comes from? The twins, Tweedledee and Tweedledum. ¿De dónde eran? Eran de... Tweedledee and de Alice in Wonderland. Cuando hay como dos amigos que son como dos gotas de agua, les llamamos Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Sí, es de Alice in Wonderland. O sea, los gemelos de Alicia y París de los Maravillas se llaman Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Entonces vienen dos amigos que siempre están de cachondeo. Oh, look, here's Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Son esas cosas súper nativas. No sé si le llamáis así en español a esa pareja. So the name of the ship here is the Tweedledee, just to give you an explanation of the name. Okay, and Patricia says, I've always kept clear of, mantener a raya, alejarme de, I've always kept clear of my father's stuff ever since I got out on my own, desde que me independicé. To go out or to get out on your own. And now he's pulling me back in. Me está como, ¿no? Insistiendo que vuelva, ¿no? Tirando de mí. He knew I wanted this boat. Sabía que yo quería este barco. And he used it and he got me working for him. Y usó eso, me manipuló, and he got me working for him para que yo trabajara para él. Which I swore. Swear, swore, sworn. Okay, jurar. I swore I would never do. Juraría. Juré que nunca lo iba a hacer. I feel ashamed because I had a price. Me siento avergonzada porque yo tenía precio. He named it, and now I know that about myself. And I could treat you like I did back out on the dock, en el muelle, en el puerto. But that would be me kicking myself for selling out. Dándome una patada, no literalmente, como, oh, ¿por qué has hecho eso? So that would be me kicking myself, okay? And then, and to sell out is venderse, for selling out, which isn't fair to you, que no es justo para ti. It doesn't make me feel any better. No me hace sentir mejor. I don't know what your situation is, but I wanted you to know that mine is not just to explain some rude behavior, but because we're on a little lifeboat for a while. And I'm soul sick. Hey, hemos visto la palabra soul. Aquí es como alma. Estoy mal, del alma, ¿no? No estoy bien, de ánimo. And you're going to see that. Y tú pronto lo verás. All right, folks, it's time for your joking.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch. Ouch. You get it? Ouch. He walked into the bar. You're joking.
That's right, folks. You're joking. All right, some weather jokes. I don't know whether you've heard them or not. Okay. All right. Well, we looked at the word showers before, and I have that sound effect, which I'm not sure if it's a rain shower or a shower in your house. All right, so what do you call it when it rains chickens and ducks? Now, we all know the expression is it rains cats and dogs. Es más normal decir it's pouring. Pero bueno, what do you call it when it rains chickens and ducks? Foul weather. No. Foul, F-O-U-L, is terrible. Foul. Oh, man, what is that foul smell? Terrible. And foul, F-O-W-L, is ave de corral. We're eating a lot of fowl due to the foul weather. All right, bad joke. All right, last one. What did the hurricane say to the other hurricane? I got my eye on you. The eye of the storm, el ojo del huracán. I've got my eye on you. Te tengo vigilado. I've got my... All right. Really, really bad weather jokes. Whether you like them or not, though, it's time to move on to famous birthday trivia.
One, two, three. Famous birthdays for you. Famous birthdays for me. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Famous birthdays for him.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's famous birthdays here on the show with no name. All right, the first person was an American singer-songwriter who passed in 2024. And she was known just by one name, like Madonna, like Prince, just one name, although she does have a last name. She's known for her global hit, Brand New Key. Hey, we looked at the word new, que también es new, el animal. Also, she did the Rolling Stones. She did a cover of the Rolling Stones song Ruby Tuesday, Temazo. And, she's done many, many other songs as well. Lay Down, Candles in the Rain. Hey, Elena, I didn't plan the soul thing or the candles thing. This is crazy. Talk about fate. Hablando del destino aquí. Also, she's got another one. Look what they've done to my song, Ma. Mira lo que han hecho con mi canción. Number 2, this guy was born in 1956, a tremendously funny and talented actor and comedian. He was in The Lion King. He's also in The Odd Couple, Waiting for Godot, The Addams Family, Frankie and Johnny, Mouse Hunt, The Producers, the movie, and the Broadway. I got to see this guy do The Producers on Broadway. Yeah, incredible. Wow. And one of the greatest voices. And he doesn't just act, but he does a lot of voiceover work. And last but not least, another actor. And this guy never sells himself short. Estoy haciendo una jugada de palabras ahí. To sell yourself short is venderte por menos de lo que vales. But I'm saying that because this guy is a short actor, but he is a huge actor as far as his talent. He was in the movie Willow. He was also in the movie Leprechaun. He also played several characters in the Star Wars film series. He played Wicket, the Ewok. He was Grip Hook, the Goblin in Harry Potter. And he was also in Life's Too Short. Very funny if you haven't seen it. Otro juego de palabras because of his height. Life's Too Short. It's a series produced by Ricky Gervais, and it stars this guy. All right, we've got a winner, Chris Valrol. Also, today's Say What soundbite. Great job. Yes. Number 1, Melanie. Number 2, Nathan Lane. And number 3, Warwick Davis. And that's going to bring us over to our Say What soundbite. This is Warwick Davis talking about working on the show Life's Too Short, which he produced with Stephen Merchant and Ricky Gervais. Again, I highly recommend the show. It's extremely funny. Lots of guest stars. It's called Life's Too Short. I don't know what platform it's on, but it stars Warwick Davis. And it's semi-autobiographical. It's semi-biographical, excuse me. Kind of pokes fun at his life, but he meets with people from Star Wars in it as well. All right. So this is him. He says, okay, Life's Too Short is an idea that I originally pitched to Ricky and Steven. To pitch es venderle. It's an idea at Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant, who loved it. And then it became the series that it became. Y se hizo enorme, right? Se convirtió en un éxito. But it's quite tightly scripted. O sea, está el guión súper apretado, no ajustado. He doesn't say he goes ease. Quiero que escuches como digas he's. But he's quite tightly scripted, It feels very loose and very improv. Here he is, Warwick Davis.
Okay, so Life's Too Short was an idea that I originally pitched to Ricky and Steven, who loved it, and then it became the series that it became. But it is quite tightly scripted, it feels very loose and very improv.
Folks, thank you for another amazing English class. It's a pleasure to teach you guys every day. Stay tuned because up next, you have got an amazing program, Speaking with Confidence, with an even more amazing person. and that is Ale. I just met her a couple weeks ago, but she's a tremendous teacher and professional. And we're going to say goodbye with birthday girl Melanie's song, Look What They've Done to My Song, Ma. Thank you, folks. Absolute pleasure, as always. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.